My name is Dr. Erin Brown. I'm a professor of animal science at Stephen F. Austin State University and director of the beef cattle facility. So it's important that producers test their bulls for fertility before each breeding season. The only way to know that a bull is able to breed a cow and produce a calf would be at the end of at the start of a calving season when there's no calves on the ground. By a producer testing his bull prior to the start of breeding season, that gives him an idea that that bull is capable of getting that cow bred. During the breeding soundness exam, the veterinarian will examine the reproductive organs of the bull. He'll also take a collection of semen so that he can measure the morphology and motility of sperm cells. Those sperm need to have greater than 30% motility, and they need to be greater than 70% normal sperm cells, meaning that they have one head and one tail. The veterinarian will also examine the circumference of the scrotum on that bull. For a 2-year-old bull, he needs to have greater than a 34 centimeter scrotal circumference. On the breeding soundness evaluation form, all of those parameters will be measured, and after each is evaluated, then that veterinarian will determine if that bull is going to pass or fail his breeding soundness exam. So the cost on a fertility test ranges from $50 to $60 on average, which is pretty inexpensive for a producer who may be producing 25 or using that bull on 25 calves and wouldn't know that that bull is not good or not fertile until the calving season, which would be in 9 months after using that bull on this cow herd. So we take all of our bulls prior to each breeding season to our veterinarian to be tested. It's recommended that the bulls be tested 30 to 60 days prior to a breeding season. That way, if a bull were to fail his breeding soundness exam, there would be time either to recheck him or to find a new bull to purchase prior to the start of that breeding season. The other thing that, along with testing those bulls for a breeding soundness or a fertility test, would also to have those bulls checked for trichomoniasis, also known as trick. That's a reproductive disease that can cause abortions in those cows, and that should also be done at the same time that a fertility test is performed on that bull. Your veterinarian can do that. He swabs the prepuce on that bull and submits that to a diagnostic lab for examination. That cost on the trick test usually ranges from $50 to $100 for that particular test. So depending on the breeding season, so some producers may have a defined calving window or defined breeding season, they would test prior to the start of that. So for here at the university, we have a spring breeding season that begins in May. So in late March, early April, we'll have our bulls fertility tested to ensure that they're fertile and that they'll be capable of getting those females bred. So when if a producer were to purchase a new bull, he should also have that bull fertility tested and trick tested prior to introducing that bull into his cow herd. That way that knows that bull will be able to breed those cows and is also free of reproductive diseases.